Here we are, boys. Here we are, hee ha ha, hoo hee ha, hoo hee ha ha. Here we are, let me go ahead and just get some crazy stuff we're doing. And beatin' bobbin', beatin' doobin' bobbin' beat dow. Alrighty, I see it, we're here. What's good? What's going down? What's going down, bro? What's going down? Please tell me if you're up in here. Tell me if you're up in here. Whoa. My computer's just going a little bit slow. Hello, Grander. Hello there, mate. Top of the morning's here. Cheerio, partner. We're here.
Keep you interested.
Whoa.
If you're new to this, it takes a lot of time to get to the really good one.
Whoa, dude. What's up, dude? We in here. Mad Rabbit, what's up? Pretty Ricky, Grand Rising. How are y'all doing today? We're just getting ready to go get up on here. We just started the stream up a little bit. Let me get up on this Facebook real fast. The Facebook stream is there's just way too many steps. I didn't want to not be able to go live. What's up, Gretchen? Hello there. What's up? So I wanted to get as much time as I possibly could in, but I'm going to get it to where basically Facebook will be streaming simultaneously in the same system that I use to stream YouTube and Twitch. So it's just not there yet. It's just not there yet. It only gives me the option to do TikTok, and I don't have TikTok, bro. I don't have TikTok. I don't have TikTok. I don't have TikTok. Actually, I did really, though, to be honest with you. I did try. I tried so effortly. I tried with so much effort. Effortly. I don't know what that word even means. I tried effortly. I tried hard. I had 3 accounts that reached up to 36, 27, and 19,000 followers. And they just kept getting banned. Giggles. Hello there, top of the morning to ya. Everybody's coming up in here. Grand Rising, hello there. You know how we go. Just give it a few minutes, just welcoming everybody in, just saying hello. You know, eventually, I'm going to figure out, I'm going to figure out how to do like a cool little intro video like freaking everybody does, you know, all the coolest guys have freaking like little videos that play in the beginning of their stream for like the first few minutes to allow everybody to get in here, you know. So I don't necessarily got that. So I'm up in here just chatting away. We're just chit-chatting away, bud. Oh man, we're chit-chatting away. Facebook's it seems as if, what's up, Andrew? Seems people are coming in. People are getting up in here. Okay. C. Porter. The personal touch does win, you know, when we'll just be able to just chill and talk and hang out and shit. That's like way more important than like just a countdown video. I agree. It gives the ability to be like, what's up, dude? I'll see you, dude. What's up, dude? Dude, can I just tell you, bro? When I went to freaking the drum circle, bro, it was a blast, bro. And I still just I'm thinking about it a few days later, bro. I never had this many people, bro. And 4 individuals walked up to me and were like, I follow you, bro. What's up, dude? And it was just so affirming. And I just feel the divine connection of just God just basically like giving me a hug and telling me like, keep going, bro. You got this, bro. You got this, homie. Keep on keeping on, boy. You know what I mean? That's just really what it felt like. How's everyone doing today, though? Is everybody doing well? Anybody struggling today? Anybody need some extra support? You know what I mean? Everybody's just vibing, bro, or what's up? Team Human and the Chizat, let's go. They are. There's people. I'm just so excited. You know what I'm saying? All right. So you know how the drill goes. Today's Trippy Tuesday, bro. I'm not really too quite sure what's on the agenda today. You know what I'm saying? We're just kind of vibing it out today. You know, we were watching the cryptid video. We might do something else. I'm not quite sure yet. What do you guys want to do today? What do you got? It's Trippy Tuesday, bro. We gotta just maybe we'll check up on X and just, you know what I mean. Some days are I got a little bit more planned in my head. Other days I just come up in here and wing it. That's like the one thing about live streaming, if I'm being honest, is it's a the organization and the planning ahead is definitely on the forefront of me and Queen Trip's mind. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah, got about an hour. Let's go. Shout out to Hey Arnold. You know what I mean? No, I didn't try to figure it out, actually. I did not. I did not. I actually thank you for reminding me. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, Epstein files are always good to discuss. That is a good idea, actually. Well, we probably will just go up on web for a little while like we did yesterday. We could just ask all sorts of stuff up inside of web, get some information about Epstein. You know what I'm saying, player? And then we'll probably just just watch something maybe towards the end. But at the beginning of all of these streams, everybody knows what time it is. You guys ready for this mindful message? Because oh boy, do I got one for you today. So I want to play a game. I'm going to tell you 3 things, and each one of them is actually going to sound less believable than the one I told you before. But if you let them land, they might change how you treat your own energy forever. The first one is when you put your bare feet on the earth, your body literally starts to recalibrate. Not symbolically, bro, like actually physically. The ground isn't just outside, it's a living electrical field, constantly pulsing with a charge. And your skin conducts that charge. When they touch, electrons move through you, helping calm inflammation and settle your nervous system. On the surface, it looks cliche and it sounds simple, but at a deeper level, it's like you're plugging your overloaded system back into its original power source. You think you're just standing in your yard. Your cells know that you're reconnecting to the circuit that you were designed to be a part of. If you pay attention when you touch the earth, you can feel it. Your chest softens, your jaw will unclench, your breath will deepen, your thoughts slow down even just a little bit. Your body finally gets the message. For this moment, we're safe enough to breathe. Before any mantra, before any meditation, before any ritual, there is a fundamental spiritual act. Your spirit choosing to fully inhabit your body on the planet that you came here to experience. The second fact. 10 minutes of your bare feet, which are called your soul, when they come in contact with the earth, can shift your state faster and more honestly than most things that you could even reach for. When you're stuck in your head, thoughts are racing, nervous system is on fire, replaying the past, fearing the future. Your awareness is like trapped in some mental noise. Grounding and touching the earth with your feet literally cuts the loop. The moment your feet land on raw earth, your attention is instinctively pulled into the presence. The temperature of the ground, the texture of the grass or the dirt, the sounds around you, birds, whispers, wind, or distant life. That shift into the present isn't just calming, it's spiritual, player. Presence is where your spirit and your body finally meet. You can't be fully lost in catastrophic thinking and fully attuned into the exact sensations of this moment at the same time. So instead of trying to spiritually bypass your anxiety, you let the earth help you digest it. Your breath by breath, heartbeat by heartbeat, your vibration starts to entrain to something older and wiser than what you fear. The slow, steady rhythm of the planet is beneath you. You are not escaping your life out there. You are arriving to your life here in the present moment. This is why so many teachings are pointing at when they talk about raising your vibration. It's not floating away, but fully dropping into your body in a way that is calm, clear, and connected. The third fact: every time you ground, you're not just helping your mind or your body. You're quietly healing your relationship with existence itself. Think about how long you've lived above your body or in your head, surrounded by concrete and artificial light, engaged with more screens than the sky. Somewhere along the way, a lot of us just stop trusting life. We learn to trust the algorithm, the schedule, the fear, the noise, but not the very ground that has been holding us since birth. Under all the busyness, there's often a deep unspoken belief: I'm not really safe here. I don't fully belong here. This world is something I have to fight or escape, not connect with. When you step outside barefoot and actually let yourself be supported by the firmness of the earth, by the rhythm of your breath, by the simple fact that you can stand here and not be rejected, something ancient in you exhales. Your soul remembers, I'm part of this. The same intelligence that grows trees and moves oceans is the intelligence that's beating in your heart. You remember that I'm not separate from this planet, I'm an expression of it. Grounding stops just being some self-care tip and it becomes like a spiritual homecoming. Your reconciliation between you and your body, between you and this earth, between you and the source that chose this place and this time for your soul to incarnate. So here's your invitation for today. Go outside, bro. Take your shoes off. Let your bare feet meet the actual earth. Grass, dirt, sand, stone, whatever's available to you. Stay longer than what feels efficient. And as you stand there, just notice something. Is your breath changing? Are your thoughts loosening their grip? Is your energy dropping out of your head and settling into your chest, your belly, or your legs? If you want, you can just add a simple intention. Earth, thank you for holding me. Take what I don't need. Help me remember that I belong here. You don't need the perfect words. You don't need to do it perfectly at all. You just got to be there, barefoot, present, and willing, with intention. Because where your attention and where your attention goes, energy flows, bro. And that alone is you choosing vibrational health, choosing to plug your overloaded and overworked mind and tired spirit back to the oldest, quietest teacher you will ever have. The living earth beneath you patiently has been waiting for you to come and accept the medicine, bro. I love you. Ooh, shit. Ooh, shit, boy. Oh, shit, boy. Oh, shit, motherfucker. That shit had me fucking buzzing. Zzz. I could feel it. My fucking, just like the earth, bro. I grounded this morning, dude. It was nice, bro. Just touched my feet to the earth and instantly just felt an electric charge of gratitude and presence. Can't you feel it? Can you feel it? Who in here, dead ass, bro, who in here actually does the grounding stuff, bro? Dead ass, dead ass, dead ass. I love you, Astro Strange. What's up, dude? Becky, what's up? Cobra, Gretchen, what's goody? Hello. Let's see. Amy, Brittany, Jose, Luis, David, Gigi, Travis. What's up, Theodore? Brenda, Facebook, what's goody, guys? How's it going? How is it going? How is it out there today, bro? How is it out there on planet Earth today? How's the energy hanging? I mean, I guess the energy's not like actually hanging. That's just like some, like, how's it hanging? You know that phrase? I don't know why I said that, but I don't know why I fucking said it, dude. I don't know why I said that, dude. I don't know why I said that, dude. All right. Alrighty. What are we getting into today? Are we going to go down some Epstein rabbit holes, bro? Are we going to go down some Epstein rabbit holes, bro? Dude, we have so much webby stuff. This web is getting larger by larger than life. This web is getting larger than life. Oh, dude. It was cold this rising. Hell yeah, I get that. Hey, Amy, do you guys know that I'm on YouTube and on Twitch, right? Like I'm streaming on YouTube. I'll just make this bigger for you so you can see. Streaming on YouTube, streaming on Twitch. You can actually just go to whoopsie, whoopsie. Trip over drip on YouTube is all one word. I think Twitch is spaced out. I can't remember, but that's where I'm streaming at. Like where we're actually going to be looking at the files together, not just over this. You know what I mean? Dang, it's going to hit 95 degrees, bro. She boy, she boy. Hell yeah, we're going to survive the Hunger Games, bro. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, dude. Are we just going to come right up over on here, over into the web right here, bro? Let's see. Miss Strawn is in the house, everybody. Sorry, we got to come back over here. The legend, the GOAT, greatest of all time, Miss Strawn is up in the house. Let's go. Let's go. Everybody just show her some love. Hell yeah. I love you. Hell yeah. Oh, we might check out. We might actually come over here real quick and just check out fucking Jesse Michaels simulation video we started yesterday. I didn't watch it. Right here. We were only a few minutes in. We might check out this clip real fast. We might just check out this clip real fast. Jesse Michaels is a savage, bro.
And we have
17 minutes long. 17 minutes long. We might just shout out Jesse Michaels, bro. What if we're living in a simulation, bro? Is reality a video game? I don't know. This says, here's the proof. Reality is a video game. So jump up in, hang up tripping over my words for some reason. Facebook. Trip over drip, bro. Trip over drip on Twitch. Trip over drip on YouTube. We're streaming on YouTube, player. Trip over drip. All one word, no spaces on YouTube. Hell yeah. Let's get into this. This is going to be a good one. This one's going to be a doozy. And then we're going to go up into the Epstein files. Someone just said something about a simulation, and I remembered that I started playing this, and I played it because I wanted to see it. What is the simulation?
So you can think of simulation theory as having many different flavors or axes. And one of the axes is whether it's we're all NPCs, non-player characters, or we're all avatars of players, which I call the RPG version or the role-playing game version.
Excuse me. So the real question is, we can all just acknowledge in real time. Louisville, Kentucky, what's up? Let's go. We can all just acknowledge in real time that, let's just say this. If you're, maybe not now because they're like allegedly, there's another plandemic coming. Y'all notice how this hantavirus was all over everywhere? And let me just break it down real fast for you guys, okay? Let me just break it down real quick. I gotta let everybody who might not know, let them know. We gotta know. Please just hold your horses, all right? Perplexity, can you please give me some details about this sting operation that happened with CSAM and the Disney cruise ship?
U.S. Customs and Border Protection conducted a sting operation on cruise ships in San Diego, boarding 8 ships and arresting more than 24 workers for alleged involvement in child sexual exploitation materials. Disney Cruise Line staff were among those arrested. The operation targeted dozens of crew members across multiple cruise lines.
Dang, and when did this happen?
Reports indicate the arrest took place in April 2026 as part of a federal investigation into child sexual abuse on cruise ships. Multiple Disney Cruise Line employees were among those arrested.
Now, they were arrested because they just had possession of CSAM, or they were arrested because they were creating CSAM.
The reports mainly mention that the crew members were found in possession of or involved in the distribution of child sexual abuse material. There's no clear indication that they were creating the material, but they were alleged to have possessed or distributed it.
And they were distributing it on the Disney cruise ships to the patrons that were on the cruise?
The news reports don't indicate that the material was being distributed to passengers on the ship. They say the crew members were found in possession of or involved in distributing CSAM, but details on how or to whom weren't provided.
Okay, and how many major news stations have covered this story?
Coverage has come from outlets like TMZ, Yahoo News, ABC 3340, and Boston 25 News, so multiple major news organizations have reported on it.
But not Fox News or CNN or MS Now.
Coverage so far has mainly come from outlets like Boston 25 News, Yahoo News, ABC 3340, TMZ, and some local stations. I didn't find...
Don't you find it just a little bit weird, okay? Don't you find it just like a little bit weird that potentially that there was no coverage? Because I don't know about you, but TMZ, yeah, they're a fucking federal operation, bro. Dude, the dude that allegedly... I mean, I get it's up for your discretion. Everything I say is allegedly. I have no idea about nothing. I believe in Bigfoot, bro. So I believe in all the conspiracies, bro. I believe that there's a planet somewhere far, far away of... Wait a second. Didn't Bill Barr write a book about this planet where like the pedophiles run the world? Or was he... Or was that David Barr? That was David Barr. Oh yeah, Jeffrey Epstein's teacher. Or the person who got him a job to be a teacher. I might add, I might change it, sorry, allegedly. And that, you know what I mean? So, it just is weird, bro. Because the guy that owns TMZ, or like the main newscaster, his name's like Harvey or something. He's like in the Epstein files, you know what I mean? And then it just seemed super sus to me as well that TMZ just so happened to fucking potentially get all of the exclusive footage from the Kirk situation, you know, of Tyler Robinson walking around. It just seemed weird that TMZ was the place that was publicizing these videos versus the federal government. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Hey guys, just a reminder, if you just joined Facebook, I'm on YouTube and Twitch. It's way better than Facebook, I'm telling you. If you could just jump over to Trip Over Drip on YouTube, bro. All one word, no spaces. Brittany will talk about getting you how to get some of this merch. It's just Trip Over Drip, no spaces. In YouTube. I'm also streaming on Twitch as well. You know, I just said, fuck it, bro. We're just going to stream on Facebook the whole last time, bro. I don't actually even give a shit. You know what I mean? So if you don't, you could just stay here if you want, but it's way better over here because you'll be able to see the same stuff we're seeing over here. If you choose to just sit and listen, then you can just sit and listen. You are loved. You are appreciated. If you guys could just help me for just 1 second, and if you are coming over to, if you are coming over to YouTube or Twitch at Trip Over Drip, you can just put a green, a yellow, and a red heart in the chat so I know that you come over. And if you are choosing to come over or you're choosing to stay, please just smash the like button as many times as you can. I'm pretty sure I'm shadow banned right now. I've been talking a lot about some crazy ass shit about the origins of Jesus and Epstein and pedophiles run the world, etc., etc. And my views have drastically decreased on Facebook. Facebook's also like in a whole bunch of like civil lawsuits right now where they're being found liable for humans self-exiting due to their satanic and potentially mind-altering algorithms that control people's minds to harm themselves or others. Supposedly, allegedly, I heard this in the news somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I heard this in the news. I don't know if it's true. I just was watching something somewhere up on the tube. You know what I'm saying? I gotta just come over here and just plug this little boy in. Just plug that little boy in. Hello, if you're here, say what's up, dude. How y'all feeling today, bro? I'm feeling fucking fantastic, motherfuckers. Life is just, fuck, man. Life is insane. It's ups and downs and all arounds in your head and out the body. You know what I'm saying? It's up and down all around in your head and all around. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck, man. Sometimes I'm just like on top of the world. Sometimes fucking... Sometimes, yeah, it was Tim Dillon. You're right. Who said that? Sometimes, bro, I'm just like in my head, bro. I'm like, fuck it. Sometimes I have imposter syndrome. Do you guys know what that is, bro? Sometimes, like the thoughts in my head, bro, are like when the numbers are decreasing. You know what I'm saying? On certain things that had high numbers, specifically Facebook going from like 28 million views in a month to now to like 4 million views in a month. And I really ain't done nothing to really change nothing up. And so it starts creeping inside of my head and starts getting in my mind and starts saying some fucked up shit, bro. It starts saying like, you shouldn't be doing this, bro. You should probably just fucking get a job, bro. Yeah, bro. People are just losing interest in your fucking lame ass. Something's wrong with the way you're doing it, bro. You better fucking start analyzing everything about the way you do what you do, bro, because it's not resonating no more, loser. You know what I'm saying? Does anybody get in that situation, bro? Like, and I know it's just because my weird ego and my materialistic mind is like really hyper fixated on those fucking numbers, you know what I'm saying? Not in real time, trying every day to just remember that, just build and strengthen what I have, and the numbers don't matter because I've built it and my energy is pure from my heart. It will all come together. And so it just like, you know what I'm saying? And I have like this divine essence and this like straight connection to source where I know the difference between the multiple different voices that are in my head, potentially mine or somebody else's. You know what I'm saying? And so like, it's just like this up and down, bro. How is everyone fucking doing, bro? Today, over the weekend was super stressful. It seemed go. I loved every second of it while being tired, as well as just like trying to just put in the work to make that last weekend with my sister coming from out of town. It was Mother's Day. It was my son's birthday. I'm just trying to just fucking glue it all together to make it as magical as possible for all of those individuals, not just my sister and her daughter, but also my wife, also my other kids that were experiencing it, as well as myself. I can't forget about myself. Sometimes I always put everybody before myself and I run myself thin. You know what I'm saying? And you just gotta just fucking rough it out sometimes, especially when you know that when you start to get to the point when you go like long periods of time with no negative self-talk. You know what I'm saying? Like not just a week or two, but like for a few months, even more, where you're like on top of the world and you're killing it and you're just like healing and you're just like super with it. You know what I'm saying? You're in the vibe and it just flows, and your manifestation power is on point because everything is just synchronizing just as it is, as you're just like flowing through it. You know what I mean? And then that's when you're like up here, but how the universe works, it all works in ebbs and flows and in these waves, right? So you could be up here for a while and then you come back down here, and after you've come back down enough times, it starts to be inevitable, at least for someone who's been on a healing journey for a long time. So if you haven't been on a healing journey for a long time, hear me now, is that there's always this ebb and flow. That's how it works. Polarity, both sides of the pendulum. Do you know what I'm saying? You could imagine that both sides of this pendulum, out on these sides is the dope. You know what I mean? It's the best. Because in the center, when you might get like this sometimes, and you're just trying to build momentum to get out to where you're swinging like this, you know what I mean? There's still those core center times where it doesn't matter what healing's done. It doesn't matter what freaking coping mechanisms. It still seems that energetically sometimes you like feel surrender, you know, you feel like weak, and you feel like you've been just battling day in and day out, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes you just gotta fucking perceive it differently. Your perception is power, player. That's why they spend billions of dollars to control your attention, bro. That's why Israel is spending $700 million to fucking control the propaganda, bro. Because your attention is powerful. It's powerful, 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 bro. Where your attention goes, energy flows. You know what I mean? So when you start to observe the negative self-talk from a different lens, because now you understand that it's really just your ego, and it's all based off of how your energetic state is. And then you just have like this jolt of life or gratitude, and you're just right back up in the mix. You know what I'm saying? You're just right back up in the cut. You know what I mean? It just hits different. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but it just hits different. You know what I mean? I find myself able to pull myself out of my lows a lot quicker and a lot more efficiently when I look at them differently. You know what I mean? I don't look at them as my problems. I don't look at them as my issues. I don't look at them as like things I can't or can't achieve. You know what I mean? It's dead ass really just like, dang, where is this thought coming from? Is this coming from things that are facts? And something for me specifically, bro, is I always in my head, I'm trying to control the outcome. I break my day up in like 15-minute increments, and it's like that way pretty much the whole entire day. I know exactly where I'm going to be, pretty much what I'm doing exactly at all times. And maybe that's my autism. So when my routine gets messed up, I'm like, fucking unacceptable. You know what I mean? I freak out when my routine gets messed up. You know what I'm saying? And so when you start to like really perceive things differently, when I know and I've created a life that I am proud of and that I like to have, and I'm grateful for it every single day. The negative self-talk just hits different, bro. Because I know it's not true. You know what I'm saying? So I just gotta fucking take it with a grain of salt, you know what I mean? And just really just resonate with the energy of gratitude and truth and shit, you know what I'm saying? I love you guys. Thank you for being here. So let's get into this simulation video, player.
In this version, a more expanded, more fundamental, and more primordial...
Hell yeah. Hey Arnold's the best, bro. What's up, Kyle? What's up, Danielle? What's up, Sharon? What's good, Andre, Chris, Scott, Jennifer, Marlo? What's up, dude? What's up, dude?
soul.
I do too, Cobra. I get that same thing, bro, where it just like this, it creeps in and tells me I shouldn't be where I'm at today, and I don't deserve it sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It just gets the ups and downs and all around. You know what I mean? But if you remember, it's all about the balance and the momentum and the sway. You know what I mean? That's why it doesn't matter, really. I said this before and I'll say it again. No matter what happens in life, player, you always give yourself permission, whether it's an up or a down. Neither one has any superiority over the other. If it's an up that you're celebrating something, celebrate for one day and then back to the grind. Back at it. Go back to your schedule, back to your routine, back to your goals. Boom. On the low, when you're sad, you also have to have that same respect for the days that you celebrate, on the days that you're sad. If something happens and you're really tremendously sad, give yourself always one day to be as sad and make the decisions based off of how sad you are, and really just allow yourself to process the emotion no matter what it may be, even if it's just a day of sleep and rest, and then what it is one day, and then it's right back on to the grind, bro. Right back to it. You can't, it's okay to not be okay. You just can't allow yourself to not be okay for too long, bro. You can do hard things. And if maybe someone out there needs to hear that today, I'm telling you to your face right now, you can do hard things, and it's okay to not be okay. And you don't have to question your feelings if it's okay for you to feel a certain way. Of course it's okay for you to feel a certain way, and you should feel your feelings. That's what we're here for, is to feel shit. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, player? It's whether it's one day to celebrate or one day to cry. You always give yourself that, no matter what the situation is. But as soon as you're done with those one days, it's just right back to whatever the frequency was before the event. That way you give yourself the ability to feel, whether that's grateful, joy, happiness, you feel like a boss, you feel tons of success, you feel proud of yourself, or whether that's you're sad and depressed or you're grieving. Hell yeah, grounding outside while listening. Woo, shit, dude.
Is volunteer.
Twitch is the best. You guys know that I'm on YouTube and Twitch, so just letting you know.
Voluntarily porting itself into
Let's rewind that back a little, buddy.
Or axes, and one of the axes is whether it's we're all NPCs, non-player characters, or we're all avatars of players, which I call the RPG version, or the role-playing game version.
Oh boy, who do we got? Some gamers out there, bro? We got gamers who play RPGs, open world. We got gamers out there that just can't wait for GTA 6 to come out, bro. I know you're out there. I see you.
In this version, a more expanded, more fundamental, and more primordial soul is voluntarily porting itself into low-level reality.
It goes back to Plato, maybe the myth of air or something. He's sort of zapped into a body, you experience anamnesis where you forget your sort of former primordial self. But there is that self, and that self has real agency in this. So I think that's more life affirming.
I do too, and that's why I tend to lean more towards the RPG version. But one of the reasons why we can't remember is perhaps that's the way the game was set up.
Do you think that if we do actually live in a simulation, okay? So there's lots and lots and lots of cinematography, right? Content, movies, shows that depict us living in some version or some perspective of this word with the simulation, right? Whether it's like you talk about it at a subatomic level where you're talking about like quantum physics, or you're like actually talking about a video game, or you're talking about like fucking energy and astral planes and other dimensions when you're talking about different frequencies. There's many different ways that you could potentially identify with the idea of this being a simulation. Is this a simulation? What do you think? But I think personally that the Matrix is like one of the best visual depictions of what this potentially matrix or simulation is, mixed in with a little bit of Free Guy, with a little bit of fucking Truman Show, you know what I'm saying? Just a little bit of Eagle Eye with Shia LaBeouf, you know what I'm saying, with the surveillance and shit. I don't know if any of y'all seen those videos, you know what I'm saying? But if it is a simulation, okay, you got to take a few seconds to really process it then, right? What happens in all of these videos or these movies that we watch that depict the simulation? What happens? It's all a story about someone in the simulation waking up, right? So let's just take a second and just acknowledge that can everyone acknowledge for all of conversation, for any of time we ever interact ever again, that this is a simulation. Please put your favorite emotes in the chat if we can all just affirm that this is like a 3D fractal light matrix made up of a whole bunch of different carbon-based compounds with metals, and there's some sort of restrictive physics and gravity for this specific realm that we potentially chose to come here and incarnate. Potentially, right? We potentially, prior to birth, we chose like, okay, I'm gonna go to Earth this time, and then you go to Earth, you come to Earth, and you live a life, and that's potentially why you're obsessed with Vikings, or you're obsessed with, ancient history or whatever it may be, or with druids or fairies or anything from Tartaria. You know what I'm saying? You like have this like just weird obsession with this like one little thing about the ancient past. Yeah, you probably have lived the life during that time, because there's a reason why your consciousness is attracted to that energy that is actually just a different timeline than we are in, because space and time is all just existing all at the same exact moment in all places and everything. So you did it over and over again, and this time you potentially just chose to come here. Like, what if one of the stipulations, that's why you can gain the most spiritual experience points for your eternal soul for all of time, that your soul and consciousness has existed, that there is a need to strengthen the soul, and Earth is used as a tool to strengthen your soul so that you can feel feelings and learn things that connect and energetically entangle with your particles for all of time, because superposition and entanglement is real. You know what I'm saying? You come here and experience certain things, and so all of a sudden you're just like okay, these are the certain levels or badges I need to gain to be equipped to my eternal soul. So I need to learn love and humbleness and gratitude. So I am going to give myself to a low poverty home. Yep, these two parents look perfect. Yep, I'm probably going to be abused, either physically or sexually, and then I'm not going to fit in because I need to learn to love myself. And so from a very young age, I'm going to be picked on, and I'm not going to look like everybody else because I need to learn to love myself. And then I also, I can complete this reincarnation journey if I'm going to do it. Yep, I get addicted to heroin. Oh, are you sure I should do it, bro? If I can complete this level, bro, I don't have to come back, bro. Yeah, okay, now when do I want to do this? Yeah, let's do it right during the Great Awakening. And let's time it that if I complete everything like I'm supposed to, I'll wake up right when the planet needs me the most. And then I'll make it, right when I'll learn to love myself here, and then I'll find my spouse, and then I'll have my family, and then I'll learn all this self-love. What if it's just like that, bro? Do you know what I'm saying? How crazy would that be, bro? Thank you for just visualizing that with me for a second, because if you really perceive your life to be like that, everything will change. Everything will change, bro. Everything. Can you guys just smash the like button if you have a like button? Can you just drop some emotes if you don't have a like button, and just have some emotes? Everything changes if you just take in a perspective, and the key is to have that lens on your glasses all the time, bro. You chose to go through, and then you just look back at everything that you went through, all the trauma, all the fucking all the bullshit, all the things that almost broke you. You look back on it, and it no longer affects you negatively in the present moment, because when you get to that point of healing where you can realize that you may have chose to be here as a divine being during this period of time, which every one of us have, regardless of whether you think that your purpose is different or similar to my purpose, we all are here for a different mission. We all have different assignments, bro. Divinity looks different in all of us. You know what I'm saying? Some of us get up on here and put ourselves all over the internet. You know what other people do? They just survive and be the best mom they could be. Other people work at a gas station, bro. Other people are crypto billionaires. You know what I'm saying? It all just looks different. It all just looks different. All of us have a different assignment and a different purpose, and all of us came here to learn different things about reality and ourself, to energetically connect all of it to our souls, which will be entangled with our soul for all of existence, for all of time, for eternity, etc., etc. You know what I'm saying? Y'all resonate with that? Y'all dig it? Chicka chicka. Yeah. Dude, I just think I've been having some downloads today, bro. My brain is buzzing, bro. Maybe it's this freaking black coffee, or maybe it's the Smead. I don't know. Maybe it's the combination. I am divine. That's like my final form. You know what I'm saying? That's like Goku's final form. I don't know. I don't really watch anime, but my kids do. My kids do. Let's keep going.
Because you have been downloading, you know that, you know exactly where it is.
Physics itself, which involves very finely tuned physical constants, feels like it was perfectly constructed to create the conditions of our solar system and the Earth. As the great Stephen Hawking even admitted, the laws of science as we know them at present contain many fundamental numbers, like the size of the electric charge of the electron and the ratio of the masses of the proton.
Oh, little side note. That dude's a fucking pedo, dude. He's dead now, so it's not really allegedly. That dude, dead ass, Stephen Hawking, was in the Epstein files. I swear on my life, bro. I'm pretty sure, bro, I heard somewhere through the grapevine that because this dude was... Oh, yeah, we didn't... Wait a second. Up here on the Twitch, I'm pretty sure we searched up old Stephen Hawking. Didn't Jeffrey Epstein custom make a submarine for Stephen Hawking so Stephen Hawking could go on the sub because he was chair ridden? Didn't we find that like he used to actually just sit in his chair, and the information that is allegedly available is that he would just have girls that weren't clothed jumping around doing math problems on the chalkboard? I swear to God, I'm not making this up, bro. Maybe I'm crazy, but I swear that's what I heard, bro. I swear that's what I heard. YouTube, Facebook. I'm on YouTube, bro. I know you guys want to be over on YouTube watching what we're watching, bro. It's just trip over drip.
On the electron. The remarkable fact is that the values of these numbers seem to have been very finely adjusted to make possible the development of life. Take water, one of the most basic resources for intelligent life on Earth. It's comprised of hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen and oxygen happen to bond in a way that forms a perfect crystal lattice structure when frozen. Normally, solids are more dense than liquids, and so they sink below them. But in the case of water, these perfect hexagonal crystal structures space H2O molecules out more in ice than in water, making it less dense. That's why you see water floating above the surface. If that weren't the case, Antarctica might sink and the Earth would flood many times over. But that's just the tip of the iceberg, no pun intended. If Planck's constant or the strong nuclear force were slightly different, it would drastically change the formation and stability of basic elements like hydrogen, carbon, and oxygen in the first place. Elements that...
What's up, Jennifer Pitts? You found me. Hell yeah. Let's go, Jenny Pitts. Woo! She found the YouTube, dude. It's slowly but surely just growing like it's supposed to. Please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Let's keep going. Twitch, what's up? We're always here. We got that rowdy ass Team Human up over here on Twitch. You know what I'm saying? Miss Strawn, I'm happy you're here. You just make me smile. Thank you so much. You're an angel. You have no idea.
As we just discussed in the case of water, are essential for organic life. If the gravitational constant were different, the Earth might not be able to retain its own atmosphere, and the lifespan of the sun could be drastically shorter than it is now. This wouldn't even allow for enough time for life to form in the first.
Hey, since the Twitch chat is on screen with the YouTube, can we just flex on the Twitch and just hit whatever buttons you want to hit, whether that's the sub, whether that's a bits, whether that's just some crazy ass shit, like just spit facts that you're not supposed to be spitting, you know, that the formaldehyde is ruining your pineal gland. Just hit fucking emotes. So on the Twitch, on the YouTube, people can just see that Twitch is just lit as shit as they just see the freaking emotes and all the shit go up. Thank you guys. Because really, everybody got YouTube, player. You know what I mean? YouTube is on every device. People just, oh, thank you for the bits, Pretty Ricky. Thank you for the bits. Thank you. Thank you for the bits. Heck yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because Twitch is like a thing that a lot of people don't use, bro. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't use Twitch because streaming hasn't taken over yet. It's going to, though. Streaming is the next thing, not short form content. It's going to be live, authentic things because AI is going to take over all short form content. So nobody's going to know if everything is real or fake, but you're going to definitely be able to see whether I'm real or fake. You're going to allegedly be able to tell if I fucking become cloned when I say that we should all just be good goyim. You know what I'm saying? When I say that the pedophiles that run the world is real, I mean, they are real. You know what I'm saying? When I say stuff differently than that, then you'll definitely be able to say that they have AI controlled me. Because that's definitely probably what they don't want us to say. You heard? You know what I'm saying, player? Thank you, Becky, for the bits. Join Twitch because of me. Thank you, Julia333. Dang, I'm a poet and you didn't even know it. Shit, boy. Hell yeah. See, look at that. We got a rowdy ass group of Team Human up in here, dude. And really, you know what's even actually just kind of divinely accurate and right on time is that this whole group of humans that we're accumulating through our energy and our shares and our message and our lives and our vibration and our love and our light and our laughter in all capacities, whether it's in the digital realm or in the real realm. You know what I'm saying? When AI actually starts to get to a point where no one really knows if it's AI or not, Team Human, that phrase is going to be so relevant, player. It's going to be such a huge name, bro. It's going to be amazing. And I'm so excited to go there with you. We're going there together, bro. Are you excited, dude? Are you excited, Facebook? We're going there, dude. We're fucking going there, dude. I can't go higher than that. I would have even tried to go another octave higher if I could have. Hell yeah, dude. Fuck yeah, dude. Team Human, bro. Because isn't it gonna get like that eventually? Like, can we just play a mind game real fast and just all think about and just visualize what 10 years from now looks like? Okay, 10 years from now looks like robots, all right? People who are awake, like us, awakened to the matrix and the simulation and our divine essence and our own true divinity and connection into this 3D fractal light matrix simulation that we're living in. And then you're gonna have the people who are still asleep, right? Like the NPCs. So we got robots, the awakened chosen ones, or the enlightened ones, whatever words you want to call them. Because the reason I specified chosen ones is because there's a specific set of humans or amount of humans supposedly that were the chosen ones to come here and create the wave that created the great awakening of higher consciousness. You know what I'm saying? So 10 years from now, right? 2036. Just imagine. Come on. Stay with me now. Robots. That's the first thing I'm going to say again because AI robots is going to be real. Unfortunately, there's really nothing we can do about it, and eventually, I would like to assume that these billionaire technocrats that are just perpetuating fucking AI and robotics and transhumanism are just like secretly on the side creating a society and altering all the politics around the world to appease their needs to be able to bring in this new wave of technology and have it just be socially accepted and accepted into the governments. There's going to be like robot judges, bro. Come on, get real, player boy. Robot judges, robot fucking governors and shit. Just you wait. I'm calling it now. Robot governor. You know what I'm saying? So there's going to be robots. Okay, then there's going to be the humans, right? The ones that are awake, the ones that know, that are trying to preserve the old world, which is kind of just like what conservative is, right? We're just trying to conserve the way things have been. So that's where they got the whole fucked up, you know, the Republicans and Democrats. That's how they like kind of like swooped in that other group of people as they started calling them conservatives. But the actual word to conserve something means to hold the value as long as possible. So really what a conservative is, regardless of what this retarded ass political ideology that they've been brainwashing everyone with allegedly, a real conservative is the one that says, let's just keep things human, you know, like Earth and just like the way that things are with like trees and like enough water for everyone, where water doesn't become so scarce because they're just like molecularly destroying it with these AI data centers. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be like fucking robots. Maybe eventually the pedophiles just like actually take off their fucking skin suits and they're just like actual like draconian reptiles fucking just like walking around and shit. And then you're going to have like the people who like full-fledged got 17 boosters and the vaccine, you know, the ones that are like dead ass, like really asleep. So Team Human, like to be human is actually it's going to be like a minority, bro. Being a real human and like remembering like what Earth is about, and like it's not all about this internet thing and devices and stuff. It's about like connection and love and family and community and all the stuffs, bro. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna have to be navigating through life like that, fucking with robots and fucking AI freaking girlfriend bots and fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like self-exiting pods. Like what the fuck, bro? Oh shit. Eventually maybe we'll live long enough to see a robot run for president. What? You know what I'm saying? I do not want robots either, bro. I definitely want humans to win this war of spirit. This is a spiritual war for all of humanity, bro. Can we not see it yet? Fuck the politics, bro. Fuck at this point it's like fuck every single country's government. Can we just like realize that potentially like, oh, what about this country or that country? Oh no, they're all implicated because they either part of Epstein's list, they knew about Epstein's list, Epstein's fucking transit, you know, the train ride of products, you know, go through their country, make a pit stop in their country. Some politician is paid off in this way, or he's actually a pedophile too and just allows the goods to, you know, be stored there or whatever. It's just like all of it, you know what I'm saying? And really when it comes down to it, bro, it's about time that all of us actual humans, of course, you know, the divine essence inside of all of us, we shouldn't hurt anyone. But, you know, I've heard through the grapevine that, I don't know, someone really profound and intelligent said that dead pedophiles have like a 0% chance of reoffending or something. Because it's kind of crazy to me that people out there in the world are like going to jail for smoking cannabis and get a year in jail and freaking probation for a year and a fucking $10,000 fine because you were smoking cannabis on the sidewalk at some school, and they have like an enhanceable charge because you were close to a school even though it was like fucking 9 p.m. at night, but you were just there and so there could be kids there, so they just enhance your charge, and then you go to jail and lose your job and your whole life is ruined. But it just seems as if these pedophiles, bro, they just don't even go to jail. They just like are able to get bail and get like probation and shit, you know, when they're like really harming a mass population of our planet, and or allegedly actually consuming them and eating the children. You know what I'm saying? It gets kind of crazy, bruh. You know what I'm saying? So if you really think about it, bro, fucking humans are, we need to fucking wake the fuck up, bro. It's time for fucking humans to come in clutch like Steph Curry in the fucking finals in the fourth quarter, bro. We all just need to start realizing, like, okay, maybe every headline that makes me feel some sort of negative energy toward humans that I don't really know, but it's like influencing me to like hate them because they feel this way. We could just assume that every single one of those headlines, regardless if it's like the left or the right, which is all just the same mechanics of everything, they've been controlling it forever, dude. Why do you think fucking from Bill Clinton all the way up to today? Maybe even before then, because George W. Bush and all the Bushes were up in Bohemian Grove. So we never know. They're in these weird secret societies, fucking satanic rituals and shit. It seems as if all of the presidents, the last president that really probably was actually like America first was probably John F. Kennedy. It's allegedly why they killed him. Who is they, though? Oh, you know who they is. You know who they is. I don't have to say it. I don't have to just perpetuate this shadow ban and tell you that it's allegedly a country in the Middle East with a blue and white flag. Oh, yeah, that's the people that are like worshiping Baal and Moloch allegedly. Wait, wasn't there a big owl, a Moloch in Bohemian Grove in 1960s? Yes, there was. That's the statue that's in Bohemian Grove. Is the statue of Moloch. It's Jizreel, bro. Jizreel. It's real, bro. I'm not saying anything fake. Everything I'm saying is real. Israel. No, it is real. I promise you, Israel. I don't know. I just think it's funny. I think that's a little funny play on words, how it's all spelled like is real, you know? And then everything I say is all allegedly, and I'm actually completely insane because I like to believe in this fictional place called Tartaria and the ancient Phoenicians and the ancient Irish giants, wizards, druids. You know what I mean? Yeah, I believe in wizards, bro. So everything I say is just allegedly, dude. I love my life. I would never hurt myself, ever, you know? But then you gotta be like, if you say that word over and over again, eventually, you know, people are gonna come looking about why you're talking about that country. All right, so I gotta go potty, bro. We've been down here for a while. Get some more boffy. Got a little bit more boff and toff and scoffalofsky, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna play a little prop, you know what I'm saying? Then we got 3 watching over on YouTube. Let's go. Fuck the Met Gala. Oh, yeah, let's hear what they gotta say.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in his splashy 60 Minutes interview on Sunday night, which
Speaking of Israel, let's talk about Bibi.
Crystal and I covered yesterday, also made some comments in regard to what he sees as rising anti-Semitism. And he has a theory of why this is apparently happening. It is related to, you guessed it, social media. Let's take a listen to this first off.
We have seen the deterioration of the support for Israel in the United States almost, I would say it correlates almost 100% with the geometric rise of social media. And that by itself is not what caused it. And I don't believe in, in censoring them or anything, but I'll tell you what happened. We have several countries that basically manipulated social media with bot farms, with fake addresses to break the American sympathy to Israel, to break the American-Israeli alliance because they think it's in their interests. And they do it in a clever way. It's like you hear a text message. I'm a red-blooded Texan. I always supported Israel, but I can't stand what they're doing. I'm turning against Israel.
Yeah, we can't stand the fact that you're trying to justify that Jesus would be scared of you and that you just are slaughtering children. You know what I'm saying? We just can't stand the fact that you're spending $700 million to try and combat the decrease in the polls of Israeli acceptance, specifically in America. You know what I'm saying? Can anyone resonate, bro? I mean, what the fuck did you think was going to happen? Bruh, there was like a 3-year period where there was just like new videos repeatedly on all platforms of just the most horrific stuff happening in Gaza, bro. If you still, I mean, today, it's, you know what I mean? So they're like, oh yeah, the biggest perpetuator of anti-Semitism is social media. So we spent $700 million to create bot farms so that we can combat this anti-Semitism. And then wait a second, all of a sudden our freedom of speech rights are slowly under pressure because of anti-Semitism. That's dead ass what it is. I'll just say it. That's how my perception and my interpretation of it is, that this increase of discussing what free speech is and what it is on social media is literally not because anybody says the N-word, bro. It's not because people don't like people from other countries, dude. Or it's not because of the racism that they continuously try and just pound into our consciousness, making us think that we're supposed to hate a certain skin color. Like, hasn't it gotten to the point where we can just acknowledge that all of this different skin colors, those cultures have been infiltrated to just kind of get us in this energy to not like people of the other skin color? And can you not just see that's like the whole fucking point, dude? It's the whole point, bro. No, Benjamin Netanyahu, we don't like Israel, not because it's Israel or because we don't like the Jews. Unfortunately, as an American, I have the freedom of speech. I don't fucking like you because you fucking murder children. You know what I'm saying? Point blank period, if you just like really get down to it, regardless of whether Jeffrey Epstein was working for Israel or Israel has blackmail on our politicians or whatever the fucking bullshit people argue over about whether Israel is good or Israel is bad, it just comes down to the fact that you'll just fucking bomb a school that has kids in them. Oh, wait a second. The American government did that too. Damn. You know what I'm saying? Because in all actuality, we're actually just here to try and fix everything for the kids, right? Fix everything for the kids, because the kids don't really get a choice on what the fucking condition of planet Earth is when they become adults and are forced to become slaves to it. So we need to try our best to change everything we possibly can about the planet in a positive manner, so that when our children or the children that we associate with, whether they're our own kin or they're like our sister's kid or like our cousins or whatever it may be, so that those children can have a planet still, some resemblance of this life that we live now, that seems just was a lot more simpler and way better probably before everything became the internet and the pandemic and 9/11 and all of the conspiracies, dude.
Place. And what about the Earth's Van Allen belt? It protects us from cosmic radiation that would wipe life off the planet. The Van Allen belt is created by Earth's magnetic field.
Cheers, mate. Top of the morning to ya. You know what I'm saying? The propaganda in like Ukraine and Russia didn't really perpetuate who was a good guy or a bad guy. You know, you could see the clowns acting, the ones that were like trying to keep the war going and shit. And now we're coming to find out that allegedly, you know, Zelensky's like a cokehead. Go figure. Just like fucking Mr. Biden. But Putin wasn't bombing kids. You know? Like, he wasn't blowing schools up. He was like attacking military bases and army men and tanks and government stuff. You know, he wasn't like bombing schools and just like he wasn't like his army weren't just like shooting kids in the street for fun like the IDF. There's countless videos on the internet showing that. Or like that same military wouldn't use dogs to sexually assault Palestinian prisoners. As disgusting and as sad as that sounds, do your own research. But it's just a real glimpse of evil, you know. Truly, it's truly horrific. That's why I don't like you, BB.
And if you think the Earth's magnetic field isn't finely tuned to support life, try growing organic life in a Faraday chamber, removing the Earth's natural electromagnetic frequencies. Grow a frog embryo in a Faraday chamber, and it comes out pretty messed up. This is why astronauts need to bring Schumann resonance machines up with them to space to mimic the Earth's magnetic field. Otherwise, their bodies will stop functioning properly. And the magnetic field of the...
Dang, I did not know that. Did you know that? That they needed to bring something with the Schumann resonance into space, so, allegedly. That they bring it into space to replicate the Earth's electromagnetic field in their spacecraft. If that is true, that's kind of cool and crazy at the same time.
Go in a Faraday chamber, and it comes out pretty messed up. This is why astronauts need to bring Schumann resonance machines up with them to space to mimic the Earth's magnetic field. Otherwise, their bodies will stop functioning properly. And the magnetic field of the Earth just enough solar radiation to ensure humans don't get eviscerated by over-radiation, but lets in just enough to create some of the genetic necessary for natural selection and evolution to occur. The conventional dogma in academia is that these are all just happy accidents that eventually occur with enough time, solar systems, and planets across eons. But thinkers like Riz Verk think these perfectly fine-tuned conditions point to intelligent creation or simulation.
In fact, all of the possible values of these constants have been run through within a timeline of the multiverse. I call it the simulated multiverse, so they've been simulated. And we happen to be in the one that has the constants that are well fine-tuned for us to be able to live in it. But there are other universes out there where we would not be able to live.
That's kind of fucking weird. Where we would not be able to live. Other universes out there where we would not be able to live. All right, Facebook. We're like an hour and 12 minutes in. Peace out, dude. YouTube, Trip Over Drip. Twitch, Trip Over Drip. Hope to see you there. Dang, I put an hour streaming on Facebook today, guys. I'm really just gonna fuck it, you know. Why shouldn't I? We're actually gonna start fucking connecting it to the streaming program I use to multi-stream to different platforms. It's gonna be, Facebook is gonna have it's gonna be like what you're seeing right now, but it will be more structured for your phone to be vertical. So that where basically, if you're looking at the screen right now, where the chat is fit to size, the guy in the chair and the microphone talking about the multiverse and shit, he'll be underneath my camera screen. So it'll be like double, it'll be like that. You know what I'm saying? So that we can just do the streams exactly the same. Fuck it. You know what I mean? There's lots of people talking about lots of crazy shit. I can't be a pussy my whole entire life and be scared to put the truth and what needs to be out there on social media. You heard me?
But there are other universes out there where we would not be able to live.
We have more evidence for the simulation, an information theory, which is the basis for the simulation in computers and video games that we code up every day. You would use repeating consistent structures to build programs. Think about it. If there are a few lines of code that help the people at Activision build Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, that they can just reuse for Call of Duty, they'll just copy and paste that code. Well, in nature, we see all sorts of repeating patterns that seem to represent the building blocks of organic plant and animal life. The Fibonacci sequence is a sequence of numbers in which each new term is the sum of the previous two terms. 1, 2, 3, 5.
Can we take a quick tangent? Because I just want to really just allow y'all to really just get set in what the Fibonacci sequence is, okay? Bruh, it's the Fibonacci sequence, bro. You see the freaking sacred geometry inside of it? The golden ratio, bro. The cymatics, dude. The golden ratio, Fibonacci sequence, found in flowers and seashells. All of it. The fucking universe. Das ist the Fibonacci sequence. Das ist gut.
Eight, etc. As the sequence progresses, the ratio between consecutive numbers in a Fibonacci sequence approaches the golden ratio, or roughly 1.618. The dimensions of DNA follow Fibonacci numbers. The arrangement of leaves on plant stems often follow Fibonacci numbers to maximize sunlight exposure. The even trippier thing is that these biological patterns often look like fractals of larger cosmological patterns in our solar system. The arms of spiral galaxies often form logarithmic spirals displaying the golden ratio. This includes, by the way, our Milky Way galaxy. It's sort of like an infinite Russian nesting doll system.
I'm sorry. I just took a blinker checkpoint. And I couldn't just help but point out, I just can't look at the Russian dolls the same, you know? The Russian dolls, they just sure do fuck me up now. Does anybody else remember the Russian dolls? Please let me know I'm not alone.
But how exactly does computer science and information theory work?
Homunculus.
Well, the basis of information theory involves bits, or ones and zeros, or on and off switches, or yeses and nos, which become abstracted into higher levels of...
Oh, Tasha, can you post pictures of them in the Discord? Please do that. I would love to see your Russian doll set. Especially if you got it when you were 4. It's probably fucking so sick. I want it. If you could please put pictures up in there.
Symbolic language, and eventually into icons and images that we see on the graphical interfaces we call computers. So where might we find ones and zeros in nature? Plenty of particles have matter, antimatter.
Peace out, Giggles. See you later. I hope you're still here. I don't know if you're still here, but I love you. Peace out, dude.
Pairs. Take an electron. Electrons themselves are perfectly interoperable. They all have the exact same atomic mass and properties, and they all have an antimatter inverse called the positron. The antimatter, or the zeros, are not really detectable. Maybe these binary switches are being actively rendered by an observer.
By an observer? That's a weird adjective.
And what about human beings themselves?
I mean, it is like a noun, obviously, because, you know, it's an observer, but observe is a way to describe that individual, right? The observer.
Well, we all have 4 nucleotides that make up DNA: adenine, guanine, thymine, and cytosine. or AGTC for short. But we call them base pairs because A always bonds with T and C always bonds with G. So 2 base pairs. Sounds like bits or ones and zeros to me.
Is it really so hard to believe?
But there is also this issue of the fact that we all think we're in the same reality, right? And are we in the same reality or not? Is an interesting question. And
It's like a consensus collapsing function.
yeah, it's like a consensus collapsing function. You know, we could get into a whole discussion if we had time about the Mandela effect.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what about the Mandela effect? Who knows about some Mandelas? I would love to hear what is your craziest Mandela. What's the Mandela effect that you dead ass remember for sure? That you're like, no way. I know for a fact that Darth Vader did not say it that way. He said, Luke, I am your father. Luke, I am your father. I know for a fact that Curious George had a tail, bro. I know about the Bernstein. I know about the Fruit of Loom cornucopia. Then you also just kind of have to, the Jiffy commercials, yeah. Shazam. Then you just have to take into consideration, what if the uprising of common knowledge about the Mandela effects was actually just MK Ultra to see how easily people can be manipulated to forget something that they were present for. So the people who remember it, obviously the program didn't work. But the people who can say that they remember it the other way, what if they're just brainwashed, bro? And that was like one of the first mass experiments. What if the Mandela effects were just like the first wave of brainwashing that led us into where now the algorithms now brainwash us? I do agree that it could be 2 different timelines. That is another perspective. That is another perspective. You are absolutely correct, dude. But yeah.
A phenomenon in which a large number of people remember events that don't seem to match reality. It's called this because a big group of people remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 80s, even going into detail about his wife walking in a funeral procession beside his casket for 2 hours that day.
It's kind of insane if he was actually showing real footage of Nelson Mandela in that period of time, that the reason people remember him dying is because it seems to be that there was like a funeral and like a festival and like a parade and all that stuff.
An event that never happened. Mandela went on to be released from prison. He united South Africa and he died in 2013. Other people swear that in Star Wars' Empire Strikes Back, Darth Vader says, Luke, I am your father. What he actually says is no. A little less. Sex in the City is actually Sex and the City. The Flintstones is actually spelled Flint Stones. There are countless examples.
One of the interesting aspects of the Mandela effect that I found when scripture changes, because people take their scripture pretty seriously, right? I mean, it's one thing to have one letter change somewhere, which is a big deal, like in the case of the Bernstein Bears versus the Bernstein Bears, or one word in the case of The Empire Strikes Back, Luke, I am your father. But people remember almost word for word, and so there are all these Bible changes, like Isaiah and the lion and the lamb, and that line is not there anymore. And in Islam, they memorize the Quran word for word. I mean, that before you become a priest, there's a designation called Hafiz, which is somebody who literally can go through the entire Quran word for word. I always thought that was kind of stupid. Like, why do we need to memorize word for word? We have the books, now we have computers, we can do a search. It doesn't seem to make sense. And I looked around to see if anybody had claimed any of the words had changed. And there was this one Sufi imam who claimed that the reason why, even after the introduction of writing and writing down the Quran, that it's still memorized word for word is that there are these entities out there who don't live in normal space and time the way we do, they can go back and change physical objects, but they're not allowed to change our memory. And those beings are called jinn, the jinn.
What the fuck? I didn't know they could do that. Oh, I think homie just dropped a bomb, dude. So you're telling me that this esoteric or occult entity from our ancient past, that is actually, jinn is like another word for genie, that they could go back into our past and change something, but they can't affect our memory? Isn't that just like to show you you're like your own divinity, that this lower entity of a lower vibration can't affect your conscious mind? How powerful is that, bro?
10,000 years will give you such a crick in the neck.
Now would probably be a good time to pay homage to the great Claude Shannon, the architect of information theory, which led to modern computation principles, and the great physicist John Archibald Wheeler, one of the first proponents of information as the basis of physics. It was Wheeler who coined the phrase "it from bit," and the more recent and probably more accurate version, "it from qubit," to suggest that physical reality arises from a base substrate of information.
I know he's a proponent of kind of it from bit, but I'm more familiar with, the Schrodinger, just a probability function. So how do you get from probability function to like a binary yes/no question sort of thing?
Right. Well, okay, so you might have to do a little bit of bridging there, because if you think of the probability wave, what it's actually saying is that particles are in superposition. It's like a wave or an interference pattern. Now, that's just weird, right? So why would the universe be in states of superposition until there's a measurement or an observation? There's no good reason for that as far as we can tell. It's just one of these mysteries of nature. And so for me, it very much reminded me, quantum physics very much reminded me of how we build video games today and virtual worlds. And so if it becomes what we sometimes call a lazy evaluation in computer science, which is you don't evaluate anything until you need to, and don't render it unless you need to. You render only those pieces you need to. That could very much provide an interesting explanation for the why of this quantum indeterminacy.
That kind of reminds me of, like, if you have Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, the measured position, momentum gets fuzzier and sort of vice versa. It's almost like a computational caching function or something, like only so much can be stored in local memory.
And what about how light travels? Would that follow information theory principles? Fermat's principle of least time states that light follows the path that takes the least time to travel from one point to another. If the universe were a simulation, then the rendering of light, which is the foundation of everything we see, seems like it is governed by algorithms that seek the most efficient outcomes. In computers, you have a client side and a server side, a front-end interface and a back-end database. Well, that actually might be how consciousness works. We may be nodes in a larger network. When one person learns a new concept or achieves a breakthrough, they might make it incrementally easier for others to reach these new heights. It's like Rupert Sheldrake's, morphic resonance, where if 100 people do a crossword puzzle and you do a crossword puzzle tomorrow, you're a little more likely to do it accurately, where you're pushing information to the server as well. It's almost as if all scientific and material world accomplishments get uploaded to a central repository. Once that upload occurs, a new node downloading that information becomes that much easier.
Also, if you make a new chemical compound for the first time and you crystallize it, that crystal form won't have existed before because it's a new compound. And the more often you crystallize it, the easier it should get for crystals of that kind to form.
How profound is that, dude? Jeez, dude, how profound is that, dude? So basically what I just took in, this is my understanding of what we just watched, specifically going back to the image of Einstein and then all these other scientists or engineers or physicists out of him, is that once Einstein kind of brought in ideas that became reality in the mechanics of mathematics and science and physics at the period of time that it did. Just because he was able to bring it into his mind to physically create it and replicate it in real life, allowed the collective frequency and consciousness to actually upgrade, which made it easier for the scientists or physicists that preceded him to be able to make that neuron a node and start firing a certain frequency, or be created to be able to attune to that frequency of knowledge that Einstein uploaded into the fucking collective. Can you concur? Do you concur? I don't know. I was just kind of going off on a tangent there. I was having a brain buzz, actually. It's almost like proof in a way that there is a collective consciousness. There is a specific frequency where all of our consciousness reside, and potentially it's our conscious frequency in this dimension that's above us. Just like they just like bypass each other astrally as like ships in an ocean that never ends. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes they connect, and sometimes they, you know what I mean, which allows you, if you can reach the certain mental frequency, could you attune to receive downloads of information regarding certain energies because some other higher frequency being uploaded those ideas into the collective. Crazy, dude. Fucking crazy, dude. I knew today was going to be trippy, dude. Has today been trippy? I hope so. I always try to be trippy, actually, just to be honest with you. I'm a weird ass dude, bro. Everywhere I go, I'm just weirding out all the time, bro. It took a long time for me to be able to fucking go up into a grocery store, bro, and record a dance video and shit, or just record while I'm in the fucking shit, because every time you do that, people just stare at you, and of course you're like weirded out about people catching you and feeling weird and shit, you know what I mean? But let's keep going.
That's amazing. This might also explain the banister effect, the idea that when a significant barrier is broken in athletics, it can lead to a mental shift that opens the floodgates for others to achieve the same new heights.
Like, we got to break that down too. If you think about it, bro, okay? Just think about like holding a world record, right? So if, for example, Guinness, remember Guinness? They actually have a world record for the longest homunculus, was like 30 meters or something. You guys remember that? But Guinness holds like, you could be like in the book of world records, right? Where you hold the highest stat point for any specific task. Could be swimming, it could be running, it could be cold bath immersion, it could be how long you can be burned on the skin without it blistering. Like weird, crazy shit, right? And consistently, since they've done this, right, the specific ones, maybe not every single one that's maybe outlandish or pretty like weird and shit, but like sports ones, right? It seems as if records just can keep getting broken, because collectively, as our consciousness works as a collective consciousness, once that human achieves the record, beat the record by a minute in a race, every other human acknowledges that it can be done. So then the entire avatar like upgrades, bro, to be able to do that, because now we all know it can be done. It's just like it becomes natural, like who has like the first person to run a 10-minute mile. Well, the reason the person was able to beat that 10-minute mile is because just a second. Dang. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, bro? Like the person who ran the 10-minute mile, the person who beat that record really had to believe that he could do it. So if he could believe he could do it, he believed that he could beat that record, and so forth and so forth and so forth, because he now knows that someone can achieve that. So he is striving, his energy, his attention is all available. The timeline and the energy and everything, and the reality shifts about capabilities and abilities and all that stuff, because he knows that Joe Schmo could run a 10-minute mile. His consistent, persistent attention in that direction to beat that record allows it to become possible, and then it just repeats over and over, because collectively all of us are seeing like, oh, you can do this, I can do that, and then eventually they get to where they are, because their conscious mind, if they put enough attention and enough consistency into their goals, everything is possible, because most people can't stay consistent. Most people just can't keep going at something even when it's not going well. But if you keep doing it and you just realize that failing, or your perception of what failing is, doesn't mean stop. It's just new information, like more data to apply to the information and data that you already have, to then maybe potentially alter or change certain aspects of your your foundation, or how you run things, or what's going on, or whatever it may be, how it applies. But you're able to you're able to alter the way things run, to try obviously to fix the part that's just not working as efficiently. Not that it doesn't work, it just doesn't work efficiently. You know what I'm saying?
The Bannister effect is named after British athlete Roger Bannister, who broke the 4-minute mile record in 1954 at Oxford. Within just 2.5 years, 10 other runners had all broken the 4-minute mile.
I was barely aware of the fact that Chris Chataway was now going into the lead.
If humans are the client side, and there is a server side storing information for us, how would that client-server communication take place? Well, if you recall from my video, The Man Who Built UFOs for the CIA, I interview a Navy whistleblower who discusses an extended version of electrodynamics that involves a far more faithful adherence to James Clerk Maxwell's 21 original equations, instead of Oliver Heaviside simplification into 4-vector calculus equations.
When you introduce a field, you now have the possibility of at least 3 completely new kinds of waves.
Some of these waves might involve faster than light communications, and one of those exotic new wave types is called heliacoidal. So maybe that's how biological life gets downloads from the central server. And what about humans? Every human body has an electromagnetic field, and if this extended version of electrodynamics is real, maybe that's how we call information from the larger field. This fully comports with the phenomenology of thought, way more than saying that thoughts are just locally produced. And it might even explain some very interesting ancient and biblical depictions of holy figures.
The symbol for the crown is called Corona Radiata.
Do you guys recognize whose voice that is? Oh yeah, that's Wim Hof's.
Even explain some very interesting ancient and biblical depictions of holy figures.
The symbol for the crown is called Corona Radiata. It's a nerve endings inside the brain. And we were thought of in neurology, we cannot control this. We cannot activate that. And then I came and I showed how to enlighten, activate the Corona Radiata, white mass inside the brain. I know I'm a king, man, the real king. And you and all of us, we should be kings.
Dang, that's crazy powerful, especially with the imagery, bro.
When I first heard about you, it was actually from Jacques Vallée. He was like, there's a guy named Riz Burke, and he has this crazy theory, and he sort of, he took me through it, and he was like, it's impossible to disprove. Like, I think it's right.
I read his first book, and I wasn't completely convinced.
Yeah.
I read his second book, and then he asked me to write a foreword for the French version, which I did, because by then I was hooked and I couldn't find a flaw in what he was saying.
Wow. Okay. Head to AmericanAlchemyMerch.com.
American Alchemy, bro. You're a beast, dude. Jesse Michaels, bro. What a great video. What a fucking just great video, dude. Alrighty, guys. Tomorrow is me son's birthday. I've only been going for an hour and 40 minutes. We're going to kind of cut it shorter, a little shorter today. I'm going to plan and have a good one for y'all tomorrow, bro. I'm going to plan and have a good one for y'all tomorrow, bro. All right. There's some stuff happening with Cletus that has me in my feels. I love you guys. I love you guys. Peace out, dude. Peace out, bro. Peace out, dude.